This season, on Game of Bros, 10 Nesian warriors,
You must be focused.
one prize.
Do not be distracted by our beauty.
There will be winners, there will be losers, and lots of coconut oil. But only one warrior will win the ultimate prize. A trip for two, business class, flying Air New Zealand to Samoa and staying at the luxurious Taumiasina Island Resort with $1,000 spending money. Big muscles and flat noses. This is the Game of Bros. Last week on Game of Bros, the boys split into two groups for their first challenge. It was Kikorangi led by Carlos who would win the day, sending Karaka into a sudden death Manuti challenge. The first casualty, Jason.
Hand your love over to the ladies.
Kia ora, e ngā puru taitama. Welcome to our Wendaho. Warriors, congratulations. You've made it in the next round for our search of our ultimate Nesian warrior. Last week we said haere to Jason, and sadly again, one of you will be joining him and leaving us today. This week's challenge, your ia lava lovers are going to be wet. And we prefer wet to makua dry.
It was pretty daunting going, there's water involved, so yeah, it was getting the brain kind of thinking, going, what are we actually going to be doing today?
Dear brothers, this week's wero, kai te waihanga koutou I te tahi waka. In teams of 3, you will be building a raft. You will be receiving everything you need to construct that raft, but first, you will have to collect those pieces. Once you have collected those pieces, you will assemble your raft. Then, you will take your waka out on the moana, where a pontoon will be waiting for you. Out on the pontoon will be a wahine waiting to be rescued by you. You must then unhook her from the anchor and tow her safely back to shore.
Carlos, you won last week's Taonga, which means you get to pick all 3 teams. Off you go.
I want to be like Carlos when I grow up, just have 100 pack and the pick pop of love and these amazing shoulders.
For my team, I'll have Joash. I wanted to stick with the lightest and also naturally stronger guys. And Jess.
Kind of a different experience, getting chosen in terms of Carlos picking us, so we just hope it all goes well.
I thought we had a good combination going on and going to take out the competition.
Carlos, firstly, he chose my 2 alliances, so it was I was just a bit hurt under here.
Second team, please, Carlos.
Second team, we'll have Phoenix, Eamon.
We might be the little bit of the underdogs.
And Aran.
It's like everyone have the same physique and athletics.
And the last team, obviously, we've got Josh, Oscar, and Rux.
I was happy with Raft because he's a personal trainer and he's fit, he's onto it, and he's strong. And
I was stoked that I had Josh on my team as I had him within the last challenge. And Rax, obviously in the last challenge, he was good for his team too, so he was definitely looking forward to it.
Boys, remember, the first team back here with their raft and their wahine win the challenge. Tūturu wakamau kia tīna! Tīna! Haume huie! Tārakie! Toru! kokiri.
So warangi se kokiri, like my footstep. Toru, roa, tahi.
Come on, boys! Go,
Boom! Leaped! I couldn't see no one in my peripheral vision. I was just me and Jesus. Little boat.
We're trying to make sure that we get everything onto the raft that we need to bring back to start building it.
You got everything else? You got everything else? Let's go!
We started off pretty strong. I think we might have been the first team back with all of our equipment.
They put me in charge of instructions and irked the team into tying it.
Is that bamboo?
Being able to direct Phoenix and Rangi, allowing Phoenix to have control over the raft buildings, I can tell that he's got a quick wit about him.
Crap, I hope one of the boys know how to tie knots because I did not go to Boy Scouts.
With Rani, he's very skilled with the water, and he let us know that rafting was something that he's into and that he enjoys doing.
I have a little bit of skills in building rafts, so I think it can come in handy.
It's gonna be like the...
Okay, how are we gonna do this? I've seen this happen before and rafts just fall to pieces.
Enough rope? Yeah. Enough rope? Yeah.
We went with the slow strategy, making sure all our knots were tied tight, bamboo sticks were together.
I don't know what they're doing, but they are fantastic to watch.
Our strategy before the challenge was to nominate someone to read the instructions, and I guess we all just nominated Raft because he's the only one that can read.
Use the rope.
We had to set out that Jesse will read the instructions, and I feel like Jesse looked at the sheet of instructions and saw a few big words that he couldn't probably read out.
We're trying to read the instructions carefully to make sure that we follow everything that we need to, so that when we do our time check to make sure that the raft's ready to go, then I can say, yep, you're good to go.
You should know how to tie things up by now, guys.
Booty. 3 at the front, 3 at the back, 3 in the middle.
I thought we were first, but we heard the other team yell out, check.
Done, done.
It's really disorientating being out in the water and not sure if you're moving or the water's moving.
I was just, giving just being nice, not those cheesy guys coming on, just like, hey, how's your day? Why are you stuck in the middle of the ocean?
The first team back here with their raft and their wahine win the challenge. Boys, remember, the first team back here with their raft and their wahine win the challenge.
You should know how to tie things up by now, guys.
I thought we were first, but we heard the other team yell out, check.
Done, done. Boys, it's coming undone. Yeah. Let's go. Almost there.
Yeah, so yellow team thought they were finished. Y did deny them because the raft wasn't tight enough.
It's the only one we need to fix. I know that coming in at the yellow team today, a lot of the bros thought we might be the little bit of the underdogs.
Bamboo on the other side to tie it up.
Make sure you get it right.
I'll hold this one.
If it is wrong, you'll have to redo it.
Look, bro, we'll do one side. Come this side. Come this side. We'll do one side.
You can do it. Speed is your friend.
We all are very confident in our abilities. There wasn't any moment of frustration.
Yeah, that's you, bro. That's you. It's me? Yeah, that's you.
We're more focused on our task, and so we kind of like blanked out. The only part that we kind of heard in terms of the other teams was when the team finished first.
Two and netting, one netting. Kicking here.
Wow.
Down. Let's go. Where you go?
As soon as we heard the first team leave, we started getting a bit nervous and started panicking a little bit.
Carlos, you can take my friends, but you cannot take my mana.
Brawn isn't everything in the game of bros. We definitely have the most intelligent team, so we were able to put that raft together in no time, and I'm pretty proud of those guys.
Well done, Team Yellow.
Well done, Team Yellow.
Go, boys.
Well done, Team Yellow.
As soon as we heard the first team leave,
We sort of started to panic a little.
In all honesty, wasn't too worried. It was almost an advantage for us to have another team go first, just to see how their waka was built.
Whatever you take, boys, the further the yellow team gets ahead.
We just kept encouraging each other. You know, we're all in it together. We have to work as a team, so we weren't that worried. We just wanted to make sure that we did what we could in terms of getting the raft done properly.
So that we connect this middle one into the side.
actually our strategy all fell apart. As soon as we chose Rafts to be the leader.
Rex actually put his hand up at the start. He said he was going to read out the instructions, then it kind of just ended up, I remember Warangi came over and was like, boys, where's the instructions? We were just kind of like...
We had a bit of a rocky start. We didn't know how to really board the raft, which was something that I'd brought up early on, that I was nervous that getting onto the raft might be a point of difficulty for us.
I was getting a bit tired how we had to build the raft first and then take it out and then try and balance ourselves to get on it.
Come on, Team Purple, Team Red. I mean, take your time. We do like what we're watching.
Harder than you thought it was going to be?
Oh, no, I knew it was going to be hard, so it's just like... Yeah. So I was in charge of reading the instructions, and I take full responsibility because I think that was our weakest, one of our weakest parts in the whole challenge.
Yeah, Carlos is he's a bit of a shady one, eh? Going all quiet and tying knots by himself and just doing like little noose knots, like it's like he wanted us to lose or something, eh?
Tight, boys. 2 at one, 1 at the other. Straddles out. Go. Now. Solid, boys. There you go. Bring your stuff, grab your gear.
So we got the okay from Y, and that was a bit of stress off our shoulders, and we're ready to shoot. Jumping on was the task for sure. I was the heavier of the three of us, and the first sort of initiative thing was for me to get up last.
We tipped over, so I was just trying to find that balance.
Teams must now race out to a pontoon and collect a beautiful wahine. They will then tow her back to shore.
When I saw the wahine today out on the pontoon and we were paddling out to her, I was thinking to myself, man, we're really going to rescue a mermaid today.
Once we saw the wahine, it's got closer, bro. It was like fuel, bro. My tank was like, overdraft, bro.
Yeah, it looked like they were struggling to breathe a little bit in the start, but they picked it up.
I was looking at the currents of the water drifting on the right side, so I was telling my teammate to paddle through the left side, so the currents of the water will take us to our wahine.
On the other side there, man. Emin.
On the right side. Okay, we go.
Once we were in the water, we had a bit of a call going in terms of our rowing counts, and I was steering from the back. So once we were in the water, we were smooth sailing.
Muscles, you got the front seat?
Ready? Vicky. Solid. Down.
As a rear team, we could still see them in the distance, so we weren't really panicking too much.
When our waka was put into the water and it started to fall apart, I was a little bit worried, going, okay, we're already behind. Please don't be a major issue.
In terms of my instructions, I just left a few minor details out, and so that might have slowed us down in the process.
So as we were paddling around and we picked her up, and we started to tug the pontoon back with us and tow it, she started to sing Row, Row, Row Your Boat.
Gently down the street.
It kind of took things down a notch for me, and then I told the boys, you know, maybe we should just focus on what we're doing and maybe not be too concerned about our mermaid.
Coming up, the race comes to a climatic finale. Who will win and who will lose their lava lava?
Look, bro, we'll do one side. Come this side. Come this side. Do one side.
You take boys, the further yellow team gets ahead. We just kept encouraging each other. You know, we're all in it together. We have to work as a team.
And it started to fall apart.
Because red team, you can still see them in the distance.
Once we were in the water, we had a bit of a call going in terms of our rowing counts, and I was steering from the back. So once we were in the water, we were smooth sailing.
I didn't really notice that we were ahead of the other teams. We were kind of just fixed on our own. You know, winners never focus on the other people, the other contestants. They're destined to win.
Yeah, I was pretty disappointed that, you know, we saw the other team pass time.
Come on, Purple!
So seeing my team come last, I think, you know, all good as long as they put all their heart into it.
I was just trying to be patient and trying to keep the boys calm, and because red team, we can still see them in the distance.
We've got the wahine there, we've roped her in, we turn the boat around, we can see that Team 1's probably just halfway through to the shore, so we know we're still in with a chance.
She was beautiful. Yeah, when we got up there, I sort of forgot what we're doing.
We were catching up to the red team. Once again, seeing the smug look on Carlos's face just made me definitely want to gun that little bit more. I was confident. We're going, hey boys, we can actually pull this off.
Then they turn up and their boat looks like it's falling apart. Oh my God, I felt so bad for them. One of the boys had his knees on the bamboo. It looked really, really sore.
1, 2, pedals in the water. 3, 4.
As we arrived onto the land, it was hard and difficult carrying her. You know, we battled out and then we have to tow her back to the land, and then by the time we have to carry her on the land, our arms were weak.
We could see that Team 1 actually stopped quite a bit even as we were coming into the shore, so our strategy was if we still want to win, we can't stop.
I was confident we were right behind them actually, and we were right there in it.
So our muscles were burning, it was a bit of a struggle, but we didn't stop, we just went guns blazing, and we managed to lift her all the way through without actually putting her down.
So this is how they're taking their boom. Very lovely. Oh, look at that. Oh, the sacrifices. Lovely, lovely,
yeah.
lovely. Shot team. You are team number 1. Yeah! Yeah!
It's being Carlos, like, you know, being the leader and stuff like that, so he'll take us all the way, but especially when we knew that we didn't win the challenge. It was just like there was no push.
Wow. Wow. Excellent. Yes, excellent. Oh, beautiful. Oh, yes.
I think he was just happy that he got to touch the girl and carry the girl, and yeah.
Congratulations, Team Red. You are team number 2. Woo, woo, woo. Oh, yeah.
We knew we weren't going to win it, but you know, we have heart, so we just dug it in and we got there in the end.
Our brothers.
Well done. Well done, guys.
Calm down.
You weren't first, you weren't second, you were last, but it's all good because you got here safely. That's the main thing.
Rax, how are you feeling right now?
A little bit gutted,
Yeah?
coming in last in that challenge, yeah.
Yeah.
Boys, step forward. You guys are so hot that the sky is crying to cool you down. It's a bit of a toughie because you're all winners to us, but there can only be one. So we're going to get you guys to nominate who you think should be the winner from your team. Oh.
Ronnie, who do you think should win this challenge?
Amen. Should win this challenge.
Yeah, I was just a little bit cut that Ronnie didn't choose me.
Ahmed, who would you pick?
I'm pretty proud of Phoenix and his knot tying skills. He showed me up on the knot, so I'll nominate Phoenix.
And Phoenix, who do you feel should win this challenge?
It's a hard one, but I think I would have to choose. I wasn't, I'm not putting expectations on the brothers that they'll choose me for immunity.
Ahmed, please step forward. You have been chosen by your team as the strongest warrior and the winner of this challenge. Congratulations, not only will you escape elimination, but you also receive this taonga noa, which will give you an advantage going into the next challenge.
Wearing the taonga noa today, one of the biggest things that it helps me to feel today is that I don't have to fly back to American Samoa this week.
And here is the kite with our phone numbers in it. Okay. Well, yes, we got through the good part, but now comes the stink part. Somebody's got to go home and check up on Jason. What went wrong, Oscar?
Probably the knot tying out of all of it. Obviously putting the waka straight into the water, it just came apart straight away.
Here's another knot to give to you. We're not going to decide who's going to go home. You guys are. You're going to tell us who you think should go home and why.
We'll start with you, Oscar. Pick one of your teammates. Which one do you think should go home?
In all honesty, I'll just say myself. I found that me at the front didn't have the right strokes, didn't have the right knots.
Josh?
I think we lost as a team. We should all go home as a team. But if I had to choose, just in terms of the knot tying, I'm gonna have to choose my mate Oscar. Yeah, I chose Oscar just because, to be honest, that first thing I could think of was doing his knots. That's just the first thing I could think of.
Rax?
I'm gonna choose Oscar because I saw him as the weakest link in terms of keeping the flow with how we were going. So big ups to him still. Yeah.
Big ups after you just threw him under a bus.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Under the raft.
Under the raft.
Under the
Okay.
raft.
Okay, you can go back and mingle and see if you can mend that friendship you just ended. Okay.
I actually didn't expect that. I was thinking maybe someone's gonna say another one. It's gonna be harder to eliminate us. But when they said mine, I was angry.
Boys, as a person who knows true leadership, the true sign of a warrior is humility. Therefore, Oscar, even though you were voted by your teammates as the weakest link in your side, choose one of your teammates in Team Purple to be eliminated today.
Oh, that was a twister, man. I mean,
I was pretty confident because I know for a fact I wasn't the weakest link in their teams.
I felt Josh's working with him previously in the previous challenge, and I kind of didn't trust Rakina as much as Josh. Guess I'm just gonna have to give it to the bus driver, Rax.
Why Rax?
If I was gonna be put under the bus, then I don't know if I can count on him to help me out next time. This is how we gotta play, you know? Kill or be killed, so.
Rax, please step forward. Brother, unfortunately, you have been voted out of the game.
Please hand us your lava lava.
To be honest, I thought the elimination round was a bit unfair.
Oscar should have been the one to go home.
Good luck.
Yeah, when they said that Oscar could choose, I knew straight away that it would be me. I think he felt betrayed. Definitely, I would have. Do I have any disappointments? No, not really. I don't regret anything that's happened in Game of Bros. Just came to try and have fun and didn't want it to be too serious, so that's what I did.
Next week on Game of Bros, the boys will be tested on their mental fitness. Find out which of these guys are sharp, which ones are useless.